afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining this session on business recruiting and networking. My name is Alex Edwards, and I'm the career coach for the College of Business within the LSU Oland Career Center. Please make sure that you keep your microphones on mute and your video hidden for the duration of today's presentation. Should you have any questions during the workshop, please use the chat feature to send a message and make sure that you send it to everyone so that the group will benefit from your questions as well. We'll do our best to answer the questions during this session, but if your question does not get answered, please let us know by contacting us at the end of the session. For the best session experience, please select the speaker view in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Please note that this session is being recorded. Now it is my honor to introduce our speakers, both within the EJ Ourso College of Business, Office of Business Student Success, Dr. Ashley Junick, Assistant Dean for Academic Programs, and Seth Thibodeau, Professional Development Director.
Thanks, Alex, and thank you all for joining us here today. I think we've all gotten used to this format for presentations, and hopefully we'll be able to answer all the questions that you might have. What I wanted to do is just get started kind of giving you an overview of the business college and the different degree programs that we offer. And then I'm going to let Seth talk to you more specifically about recruiting our students and how he can assist you with that process in the college. So the academic degree programs we offer, I'm sure you're all familiar with the basic business departments, but I just kind of, we do get new programs coming on board, and the faculty is constantly reviewing our existing programs, trying to make improvements and creating new programs that hopefully will benefit the businesses and organizations that are hiring our graduates. But we have 6 academic departments for undergraduate programs. We have accounting, of course, and economics. We offer 2 degrees, one in economics and one in international trade and finance. We also have the Stevenson Department of Entrepreneurship and Information Systems, and they offer 2 degree programs, one in entrepreneurship and of course the other in information systems and decision sciences. And then we have the finance department that offers the finance degree. We do have a general business degree, which is our interdisciplinary degree program. We have management, and in management, we actually have 3 different concentrations: human resource management, international management, which is a newer concentration, and also strategic leadership, which is a newer concentration. And then last but not least is our marketing department, and they also offer 3 different concentrations: digital marketing, which is brand new, so we're excited about that. We also have marketing analytics that went into effect last year. And then some of you may be familiar with the professional sales concentration. There's a lot going on with that. And then in addition to our undergraduate majors, we offer some minors. We do have a newer minor in analytics. We know that's a real hot topic in business these days. So hopefully we're teaching students the skills that you need them to know when they get to your organization. We also have an energy minor. We have a minor in entrepreneurship and information technology management, internal auditing, which is another hot topic area. And we have a more recent addition, which is international business. Students can also specialize in the internal auditing without doing the full minor. So you may know that we are 1 in 5 schools recognized worldwide as a Center for Internal Auditing Excellence, and that's thanks to Dr. Sumners, who many of you probably know. He's legendary on campus. And then I do want to mention some graduate programs. I work primarily with the undergraduate students, but I know some of you may be recruiting graduate students, and we can assist you with that as well. We have the master's programs in accountancy and finance and analytics, and of course our MBA program. And in addition to that, we have the Master of Public Administration. So Master of Public Administration is actually a separate academic department offering that program. And of course, graduate students can also specialize in internal auditing. So that's a quick rundown of all the different academic programs we offer. And just to give you an idea of what we're doing in EJ Uso College of Business to help our students prepare for their career, we developed a couple years ago the Office of Business Student Success, and under that department we have 4 different divisions. We have the traditional academic advising division, which you all remember going to see your academic advisor probably when you were a student. But we've gone beyond that, and we've added the diversity and inclusion program under our office, as well as professional development, which Seth is representing our professional development division, and of course Alex is working in that as well. And then we also have our international experience, where we help students plan study abroad trips and try to get them to experience life outside of the U.S. And we think that benefits them greatly in their overall education. So through our office, we work very closely with employers, and I'll let Seth get to that in a minute. I just wanted to mention a couple more things. The business communication and professional development course we developed a couple years ago. Seth is teaching that, and he's going to tell you more specifically about what students are learning. But we feel that communication is an area that our students really need to develop those skills a little bit further. And so we created a course, and our goal is to make that a required course eventually for every student who's graduating with a business degree. We're not quite there yet, but we are teaching 4 sections each semester of 35 students each. So, and it fills up every semester, so that's a good sign. Another example is the type of real world learning that we offer through the college. I'll just give you a couple examples. The Smart Lab, you may be familiar with that. That's our simulated trading floor, and it allows students to get real world experience, hands-on, actually making recommendations to the LSU Foundation for investing their money. And it's real money, so I can't get much more real world experience than that. And then another example would be the Professional Sales Institute, where Greg Accardo heads up that unit, and he has students compete in national competitions against each other, and we have a number of programs that we participate in. They also actually practice the art of sales through their annual fundraiser with a golf tournament, and they actually solicit support for that program, so that gives them experience. And as I mentioned before, we're constantly looking at our academic programs. We really listen to you when you tell us, hey, we want to see students graduating with this particular skill set. We're going to listen to that and try to incorporate those things into what we're teaching in the classroom. And we definitely have a goal of connecting our students to employers in order to help your organization, but also to give our students a pathway to a great career. So Seth, I will let you take over with the next part.
Thanks, Dr. Junick. Welcome to everyone in this virtual format. I hope you've had a great day. I know you've heard from some really great people, and I just wanted to say that one of the great things about LSU and this institution as a whole, and the College of Business, where I sit and where Dr. Junick sits and where Alex sits part of the time, is that we have such a deep, meaningful, and historic relationship with the Olin Career Center. So while you probably work a lot with Courtney and with Kyle and some of the other folks on the employer side of the Olin Career Center, we are talking to those same people weekly. I'm very proud to say that we were one of the first academic colleges to have a shared position, and that position is Alex Edwards, who you've met on this call. And that individual is so important in maintaining that relationship back to Olin with the college, so that students see a seamless career development process here at LSU. And so while we work very deeply and specifically with College of Business students only, we are bringing all of that information from the Olin Career Center. While you're working, let's say, with Kyle on a specific event, that information is being communicated back to our college, meaning back to the students. The way we communicate a lot of the events that you would be doing and now doing virtually would be through our weekly newsletter. That's something that we keep very up to date. We work on that daily, really, until it goes out each Monday afternoon. And so all of those events that are being planned, virtual sessions, information sessions, the virtual career fair that will be taking place a little bit later this semester, all of that information is fed into our college calendar, and that then shows up for students as well. So we really want to provide as much information without, of course, giving them fatigue, and try to have them engage as much as possible. Under ordinary circumstances, I would be inviting you to information sessions here in the building to actively engage with students physically and in person, but we know that that isn't possible this fall semester. So we will be doing it all virtually. And I think that with technology and the mastery of Zoom and other applications, we really can do a great job and help students find great, meaningful connections to you and your companies, as well as the information that they need to inform themselves on the career paths. As Ashley mentioned, we have so many, that's really the great beauty of a Research One institution the size of LSU. Our College of Business offers all of the, of course, historic degree programs like a bachelor's degree in accounting. At the same time, our students are really being exposed to new and exciting concentrations and different parts of areas that they can maybe add on or tack on to their very traditional degree program. They can opt to do an MBA or an MPA or a master's in analytics after they finish their undergrad. So we offer this wide and really a wealth of opportunity in the academic side to our students. And as it was mentioned earlier, it really is a very much a mirror or influenced by what's happening in the business world. And we're not static. Our faculty are researchers who are following the economy, following industry trends, and really bringing that to the classroom and changing and modifying through the years as those processes need to be modified, changed, and updated to meet demands. A great example is the analytics program. We began teaching analytics courses, and then we developed a master's and a concentration and certificate programs, and that all came from industry. And now, as industry need more and more analytics business-minded individuals, we have students doing those degree programs and graduating with those either degrees or their certificate in the analytics program. Internal audit is a very good example as well. And so I think it's a great institution to be recruiting from, no matter what industry or what area you're looking at. There is a student who probably has that degree path that you're looking for here at LSU. Another area that we take very seriously, as Dr. Junick mentioned before, is our students being prepared for the real world when they graduate. And part of that is their communication skills, and that course that we teach for professional development and communication really is all about the applicability of the skills that we're teaching in the classroom to their professional life. So we do elevator pitch workshops. We do a lot of work on presentation skills, on group projects that are a little more deep and meaningful from a how do groups communicate standpoint than just simply getting a task done. For us, it's really teaching students how to communicate effectively in groups and with people that might not be like you when you get out into your full-time job. And so we build a lot of different type of assignments that are all communication intensive in design, so that they really understand the impact of communication in the workplace and in their professional lives. And they can walk away with artifacts and videos of themselves and reflect back on things that they've learned and sort of mastered. And a lot of that ties directly to career development as well. So resume, cover letter, LinkedIn, and really the job search and how to communicate effectively with a recruiter, especially now that we're going to be moving virtually. So a lot of our class has been shifted. We are teaching that in a virtual environment as well, but then also teaching students how to be successful in a virtual job search or in a virtual professional capacity is really important to us. So again, even as an academic, professional, advising and counseling area, we are also aware of what is happening in the real world and trying to meet students where they are and what they're experiencing out, just like all of us on this call. So I think we have a couple of questions we might want to answer. Maybe there's some other questions that'll come up as we answer them. So happy to answer those. The weekly newsletter is, you can go to the College of what I'll do is I'll find the right place to get looped into our newsletter that goes out to the general public as well. And you can type in your email address and become and get that. And I'll type that into this chat box for everyone to see where you can put in your email for that information. Are there any student organizations specifically for the analytics students, or what is the best way to target recruit these students with the analytics minor? We do have a student organization within sort of the ISDS realm. They do have a great membership, and I believe even computer science students are invited to join that particular organization, and we can link that to this chat box as well. They are very active. If we were having our in-person business networking reception this fall, there would actually be a breakout room just for students who are interested in tech and in these tech fields. I can't say that they all will have the analytics minor or major. They could potentially be a computer science student who is interested in that field. As a student group, they're often open to a bigger range of students than just students in the minor. At the same time, we have really great faculty, and that the department that houses the analytics minor is very active in, again, championing career services and career development with their students. And so Dr. Ed Watson and his staff are very actively involved in helping students and connecting employers with students, especially when there's specific jobs or needs that come up. So that all said, what you could do is communicate with Kyle or with Alex or Courtney or whoever it is, or myself, and we would then put you in contact with the right individuals for your hiring needs and for your needs specifically. There are usually student groups and usually champion faculty members that we then introduce hiring partners to try to target a certain student population. Ashley, anything you might want to add there?
I was just going to say the name of the organization that Seth mentioned is AITP, or Association of Information Technology Professionals. He said that probably connecting with the department would lead them to more students, as far as you might have analytics students who aren't members of that organization. But on our college's website, we do have a page dedicated to all the student organizations, and you can find information on those organizations as well as the contact. So I think that's a great way to connect with students. And then what was that other question? I forget. It disappeared.
Let's see. What is the best, well, I'll say maybe the next one. What is the best way to target finance students soon to graduate? Well, you can do that a couple of different ways. Employers can access students through the search and handshake. And we once upon a time, many of you as recruiters who've been doing this a long time probably remember resume books, and we used to have employers request those, and then we would run those or collect them physically and then make copies of those. I may be showing my age a little bit, but those were done and mailed off many moons ago. The way we do that now actually is employers have access through Handshake to do a lot of that research themselves and can run those queries. So if you're looking for a specific graduation date, a specific major, a specific whatever is housed within Handshake on those student record side, you can actually run those targeted searches and pull up resume books yourself. So that's one way that you can do it. And I think it's or you can message students directly. And I think that's a very powerful thing when a student gets a message directly from a recruiter. That's a very, very important thing. The other way I would say is talking with us, talking with Alex, and letting us know what your needs are, maybe communicating with a faculty member in finance or the department chair. Again, we have champions in those departments who are very much willing and able to communicate with an employer looking for their students, so students within finance or accounting or marketing. And so that is a really great thing. We can put you in touch with faculty and the student groups within that particular area of interest. So finance, let's say. And we have the Student Finance Association. We have graduate students in finance. We have undergrads. There's a great, we have a couple of great faculty members who really spend a lot of time. All of our faculty members are great, but a couple of them spend a lot of time on helping students find internships and helping students with full-time job search and really connecting employers to their student groups. And so that's something we can absolutely do easily. So you can search on Handshake, or we can do it old school where we're helping facilitate those relationships. I do that. Alex will do that. Stephanie Gandy, who you guys haven't met just yet, is our internship manager. She will also do that for employers that we're working with. And sometimes it's a matter of going to Kyle or Courtney and saying, hey, I want to target this person or this area, and then they will make the connection back to me or to Alex, and we will facilitate that from a college perspective and help you get in touch with the right person in the right area, depending on what your target is. Internship study, that again is something you can research in Handshake. But again, I would probably put you first in contact here from a college perspective with Stephanie Gandy, our internship manager. She really works very closely with each department's internship coordinator. So we actually teach a course for credit in each department. A student can get credit for their internship for one semester. And so she collects all of that information, and that is housed in Handshake. And there are ways to search for students who have internship experience in Handshake, of course. But again, she is very knowledgeable about the students and the faculty who are teaching. And that's just for credit. Now, we have hundreds of students, if not thousands, who do internships every year and don't get credit or opt not to get credit for that. And so there's a lot of students who have internship credit in their chosen field of study or internship experience in their chosen field of study. But we can absolutely help and assist depending on what your area of interest is. So maybe you want a student who's just had a job, period. Okay, that's one area. But maybe you need a student who has accounting internship experience or an internal audit internship, or maybe an internship in sales, and you need something very specific. Well, there's ways to help you to identify those populations. Typically, the students in our student groups by major or by area of study, but also by honor. So we have a couple of student groups that are just honoraries for students who are in business. Those are typically your eager, engaged students who are truly looking for opportunities And so I would say that those are some really great pools to begin to talk with and communicate with and build relationships with, to meet students who are engaged in the job search process, and to really find students that you would be looking for depending on what area of expertise. And some of those honoraries, it's college-wide, so it would be students in a variety of different majors that would be joining those organizations. So again, a great thing about being at an institution the size of LSU, we have a lot of students, and we have a lot of great students who are very active and in these organizations, and we promote relationships between the faculty advisor and the company and the student leadership and the company, because each student group has a president, a student president, and a faculty advisor or staff advisor. So that's a great question. And thanks, Ashley and Alex, for doing that. Yeah, Laura, that's a great question. And I'm going to let Ashley talk a little bit more about this, but I do think that the digital transformation comes up a lot in discussion, and a lot in talking about curriculum and what is needed, and of course following what the CPA guidelines and those changes through the years have affected our curriculum. But I know that digital transformation is a big part of that, so I'll let Ashley touch on that.
Thanks, Seth. I don't know the specific answer to this. I would have to refer to Laura Wiley in the accounting department, or Kurtai in the finance department. But I know, as Seth mentioned, the accounting curriculum just underwent a big change effective last year, I think, and that was in order to bring their students on board with the new requirements or updated requirements for completing CPA. And that now every student who completes the curriculum will automatically be eligible to sit for the CPA exam in Louisiana. I know that accounting added a number of information systems and decision sciences courses that are related to analytics, and they also added a new accounting course related specifically to analytics. I'm not an expert in analytics. I don't want to pretend like I know exactly what I'm talking about. So, and I know that finance has undergone some changes as well. And I know the financial modeling is, of course, big, and the data visualization, to try to say that real fast 3 times, is a big and important push. But so I want to say, yes, all this is being taken into consideration and the programs are evolving. I can't tell you that's 100% correct because I'm not an expert in the discipline. But Laura, if you want to reach out to me, I will be happy to connect you with the right folks who can answer your specific questions. Should I type my email address in there?
And so much of that, again, as nimble and as reactive as we are to the market, so to speak, of course, changes do sort of, I wouldn't say move slowly, but there's a process for those changes with curriculum change. And so where we can do things much quicker in a maybe a minor or other areas, or maybe add a class as a extra thing that a student would do, changing curriculum can take some time to shift and shift around, because then you get into, without boring you guys too much, you get into the hours required for degree, and you can't have over a certain number or under a certain number and so forth. So a lot of approvals have to be made for that kind of stuff. But I'm sure Dr. Wiley in accounting could answer those a little bit more robustly than we can.
Yeah, just to make a change to the curriculum takes probably over a year, just to give you an idea. Because not only the faculty first have to all agree, and that's, kind of like herding cats sometimes. And then the process is that it has to be first, changes have to be approved by the academic department, then they're approved at the college level, then they actually go to the university level, and then they go to academic affairs. So the wheels move very slowly in academia. It's not like private industry at all. And I can tell you the folks from LSU Online don't understand, because that program is developed more off of a privatized model. And so just to kind of give you folks an idea of the process, but it doesn't stop us from moving forward. It just takes some time.
That's great insight too. Any other questions about reaching students or specific needs that you guys might have? One of the things I will say is that, in a virtual environment coming up this fall and maybe in the spring, we definitely, feel free to be reaching out now, letting us know. Anytime you guys as employers post on Handshake, let Alex know, let Kyle know, let me know. We definitely do work to facilitate information getting into the hands of students who are the people you're trying to hire. And so we work really hard to make sure that it's a daily process of maintaining our calendar so that it's up to date when a student looks at the calendar, making sure that these info sessions are represented, making sure that the right people are informed, and so that student groups know about these. And the companies that we have or that we see year in and year out get a lot of student interaction, a lot of student presence at their events, have worked a long time, and they spend a lot of time developing the relationship. I don't think that they have to spend a lot of money to do that, but it's just a matter of checking in with the president of AITP often and more than once, communicating with the AITP faculty advisor, getting to know the chair of the Stevenson Disaster Management, the Information Sciences, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, what is it? I want to say ISDS, but I know.
Say SDIS.
SDIS. So Dr.
Yeah,
sorry, I got a little confused on all the letters, but there's so many things that you guys as employers can do frequently, often, to communicate with us, but also with these champions who are directly meeting with students in the classroom or advising them, that you will begin to see that the effort you put in, just the time effort that you put in doing that, pays a dividend in how many applications you're seeing on Handshake and so forth, and what's being driven to your job ad, or job posting, I should say. And so I think it's really, really important to communicate often. And this actually goes without saying, but in virtual times and non-virtual times, I think it's the same. It goes the same either way. Companies who spend a lot of time with us or invest time with our people see that returned in application numbers. They see that in returned in quality of applicant. They see that in returned in the type of applicant that they get to their position that they have posted on Handshake. Another thing that I'll mention to you all, because some of you may recruit at different schools, LSU and the E.J. Ourso College of Business is committed to a one Handshake system at the university. So Louisiana State University only has one Handshake. Students only have one login for Handshake. Our business students use Handshake, and the Olin Career Center, while they manage that as a system, have given us access, and we really do want students to have a seamless process when it comes to using that Handshake system. So we're trained here in the College of Business to use that system. We actually run all of our career appointments for career advising through Handshake. So that's the system that we actually track our career appointments here in the college. We're doing that with Handshake as well. So You may have seen in other colleges of business where there's a separate system for the college, but that does not happen at Louisiana State University. It is one system. So whether you're those of you on this call or on this Zoom, or maybe hiring engineers and business students, and maybe you're hiring computer scientists and others, we're all part of that same handshake system. So it's very easy for you as an employer to use that one handshake and then to communicate with us and to let us know. If you're trying to reach master's level students, we do some direct targeted emailing to them about particular jobs that are very specifically targeted to them, because often there are specific jobs specific to an MBA or a Master of Analytics or an MS in Finance or accounting and so forth. And so we're we have some really great partnerships with our academic departments that help us to really get some of that information out there. But again, we drive all the students back to handshake. We don't post things in the college, and we don't have students apply to things that are not through handshake. Any other questions that you guys might have? I have about 10 more minutes, but I know you don't want to hear me talk for the rest of the I will say this, rather than keeping it to the end, but we're very thankful that there are 30 participants on this call, and very thankful to all of you as employers who have decided to be at the Employer Drive-In today. I know you represent companies. Some of you maybe have come to this event before, or maybe other colleagues at your companies have come to this. Maybe you're a new employer for LSU, and I say welcome and thank you. And that is a bigger thank you and a virtual hug this year, because being virtual, it can be a little scary. I know it is for us. It's probably scary for you, but it's going to be a little scary for our students. And it's an unknown and uncharted territory. And they're taking a lot of their classes virtually, and some are coming to campus and some are not. And it's a semester unlike any other, because even in the spring, we had at least half of that semester was in person as normal, business as normal. And so thank you for engaging and continue to engage, because I think you will see that if you continue to do what you're doing today, that will definitely play into what your success is when it comes to applications and finding the right talent. Alex, I'll let you, maybe Bill Bridgeford would like to ask a quick question, if we could unmute his mic.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. The first thing I'd like to say is my compliments to you. You all have put on a great event today. So lots of great information that I'm sure everyone's been able to pull out. My question is that one of the sectors, I am with East Corps, and one of the sectors in which we work is community economic development. Mm-hmm. And there is an increasing demand for students with those backgrounds. The question is, how can you think we might best reach, I've listened to what is being said today.
Yep.
And the internship aspect would greatly enhance their viability for service. Some kind of the practical education that goes along with their classroom studies. How do you suggest we approach that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I know for the Peace Corps, you guys are looking at university-wide recruiting, right? You're looking at all kinds of majors in different areas and different aspects. One of the things that I would recommend to any employer, but to you guys specifically, is to really get in and dig around. And it is time consuming, but in looking at those handshake accounts and running some of those searches through that handshake, because again, as a university and as a college, we and all the other colleges are doing the same that we're doing. We are driving student traffic to handshake. And as a university, that is the one place that we're having students build their profiles, add their resumes, and apply for positions that are posted to LSU students. So I would say that you can do some of that on the backside as an employer. I believe there might be a little cost involved, and there might be some accounting that needs to happen between you and Lind on that. But I do think it's a great system that you can use to then reach out to targeted students who might have specific interests or specific areas. Depending on what more specifically you're looking for, another thing that as a university, we have Volunteer LSU, which is a university-wide initiative. It's not really a club per se, but it's an initiative, and we have volunteer days, and students across the university in a variety of different majors participate in that. Most of our honor societies also do a lot of volunteer work. So if you're looking for students who are maybe in accounting but have a lot of volunteerism, their honor society builds that in, right? So that's a pool of students who are in accounting, but they have a lot of volunteer experience. So Volunteer LSU university-wide, and then college-specific honoraries typically build that as part of their sort of community initiatives. We have another event that happens every year on LSU's campus, and you may have seen it on our publications, called LSU Greening or Greening Day, where students across campus volunteer to come on a Saturday and plant plants and really do some heavy lifting and some dirty work to make campus a more beautiful and more sustainable and more green place. Well, if you're looking for students who have a desire to be in sort of these areas, and you think that that's a good population, talk to us, talk to Alex, talk to me, talk to Kyle. We know people on campus who are running that event and probably know or have the list of volunteers who participated in that event. And again, that's university-wide, majors-wide. That's not specifically to a college, but there are lots of things in sort of thinking about LSU as a community in and of itself, made up of all of these different colleges and different students, but we have university-wide initiatives that may speak to some of what you're looking for as a student, as a hire. And so reading our publications, looking at our press releases, reading the university's website and saying, oh, wow, I would love a student who did that. Another pool for Peace Corps specifically might be students within the honors college system. A lot of those students are not only high achievers academically, they're very high achievers in their communities, doing a lot of community service. They're doing a lot of volunteering and giving back, and are very familiar. And the Honors College, actually, I have a counterpart who works as a career coach there as well, very similar to what Alex does, although she only sits at the Honors College. And so that's someone that you might want to be in touch with to really build a relationship with, because she would know her students intimately. Again, that's students that are representing all majors across the university, but who are maybe really involved with internships and volunteer opportunities at a much higher level than other students. I hope that helps. It's just sort of off the top of my head, but we can definitely have more deep, meaningful discussions, and Kyle and Alex and Courtney and others that you work with at Lind can probably offer some advice as well.
That's not too bad for just off the top of your head. Thank you.
Well, look, I started.
The thing is that I came from the private sector and became a volunteer late in life. So I know how well business skills transferred to grassroots development work internationally. I'm a living testament to it. So this is why I am trying to involve business students more fully in what we do. Yep. But thank you. And I think you're referring to Cindy over at Honors College.
Yes, exactly.
I work with her. I'll tell her we spoke.
Good, do that. Cindy and I were both in the Career Center many years ago, and we both have since left to go to other units. But she works with those students day in and day out and knows them intimately and what they're doing. And those are discussions too. I'm even thinking here in the Office of Business Student Success, and our Director of Diversity here, Angela Guidry, works with a number of students who are doing community involvement. So they're business students, they're students in ISDS, or they're in accounting or marketing or whatever. But a lot of her student advisees are doing great things in their community. And so having these open talks and communicating with those of us who work with students daily and letting your needs be known, I think will lead to meeting the right students and having discussions with the right students who fit your need.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And again, my compliments to you all.
Sure thing.
Do we
Alex,
have any other questions before we end? Well, if not, thank you both so much for your insight and all of this information that you have provided for us today. For our employers, thank you for attending this session. Again, we have recorded the session, and so if you would like that, that will be available after the conference has ended. And I believe that our keynote is going to be in about 15 minutes, so we will see you there.